Today is our third day for the dilation. The first day we figured out that dilation was either a reduction or an enlargement. The second day we figured out how to draw the image given a dilation. And today we're going to figure out how to find the center of dilation, which I think is actually easier than drawing the image after a dilation. So in order to find the center of dilation, what you do is you connect two of the points, one from the original and the corresponding one from the image. So here is the original. Going to the image, and you have to extend it in both directions. And then you do that for a second set of points. Where the two lines intersect is your center of dilation. So my center of dilation, my pen's not working, there we go, is right here with that line of intersection. So my center of dilation for this one is at 2, 0. We also are then going to find the scale factor. There's a couple ways you can do that. You always just compare the lengths. So if I look here, the length of the original was 1. The length of the image is 2. Remember, the scale factor is always going to be the image over the original. So my scale factor here is 2. I know it's a positive 2 because both the original and the image are on the same side of that center of dilation. Okay, if we look at our second example here, again, you connect the original to the image, the original to the image here, and where it intersects is our center of dilation. So those intersect at the point 2, 0. And this time they're on the opposite side of this center of dilation. So it's going to be a negative. The original was 1, the image is 2. So we put the image over the original, which reduces to a scale factor of -2. I know it should be greater than 1 because it is an enlargement. Okay, if we look at the question here, it says, how can you tell if the scale factor will be positive or negative? It's going to be positive if they are on the same side. Okay, and it's going to be negative if they are on the different sides or opposite sides of that center point. The other thing you have to be careful about is you are going to have to use a ruler in order to draw these lines. If you don't use a ruler, it will be not be accurate enough to find that center of dilation. So you do need to make sure you use a ruler. Our next example is exactly the same thing. They just want to know what the center of dilation is and the scale factor. So you only have to connect 2 of the points, even though this is a triangle with 3, and it doesn't matter which 2. So I'm going to connect D to D primed and E to E primed. Where they intersect then is our center of dilation again. If I were to connect F to F primed, it would also go through this same point. So my center of dilation, oops, sorry, I did it in the wrong order, is 1, 3. Because remember, you go left or right first and then up and down. To figure out my scale factor, I can't get the length of DF or FE because they're at an angle. So I use this one, that's a vertical line. I can get that it is 4 units long. Then I get the same length over here with the corresponding side, and it is 2 units. They are on opposite sides of that center of dilation, so it's going to be a negative. The image is 2. The original is 4. So -2/4 reduces to -1/2. If I double check my answer, it is negative because they're on the opposite sides of the center of dilation. It would make sense that it is less than 1 because my image is smaller than the original, so it is a reduction. This is your guided practice problem. You will have to plot both the original and the image to find the center and the scale factor. Oh, hold on. Nope, I'm doing this one. I'll do this one with you. Sorry about that. So the original point P is at 1, 3. Just trying to give you guys more work. Q is at 1, 2. And R is at 2, 1. So I connect it to make my triangle. And that's my original. It is mapped onto the image where P primed is at -3, 1. Q primed is at -3, -2. And R primed is at 0, -5. So if I connect those to make my triangle, I automatically notice that it got bigger. So I should expect my scale factor to be greater than 1. So now to find the center, I connect two corresponding parts. So there's P and P primed, Q and Q primed. If I just connect the points here, they aren't connecting. So that must mean I need to extend them out to figure out what my center of dilation is. Now they do intersect, so I've extended them out far enough, and my center of dilation is right here. That means my center of dilation is at 3, 4. To figure out if it's positive or negative, you look at what side they're on. They're both on the left side of the center of dilation, so that means it's going to be positive. So if you want to write that down just so you remember. And then you have to figure out the side lengths. I'm going to use the one that's vertical. In the original, PQ is 1. In the image, P primed, Q primed is 3. You always put the image over the original, so 3 over 1, which reduces to just 3. It's positive because they're both on the same side, and it makes sense that it's greater than 1 because, again, it is an enlargement. Now for your guided practice, it's page 95, 4B, and then your assignment is the extra practice worksheet 8.4.